Hey guys, this little kid over here, he's my 4. That's my school picture from when we lived in Michigan. Now, in Michigan, we were mainstreamed, which is in the public school system, as opposed to being in, say, a therapy slash school program for crips. And that covers the whole spectrum of whatever was had. Then in '82 we moved to Midland, and they didn't have the same program, and so we went from being put in mainstream schools and public schools to going to the CP Center. And it was okay for what it was. It was more of a little bit of school with a lot of play, is what it really was. And we, my folks and a couple of other folks got together, and they wanted to get us into the public school system. So I remember that we would go to the meetings, and us kids would go off and play while the adults did their thing and, had their meetings and made plans to get us into this public school system. So that was from, I'll say, '82 to '83, and maybe from '83 to '84, we got put in. We made the transition to public school, and I remember I started public school at Bowie, and come to find out we were behind the 8 ball because we just got the minimum education that was needed to stay up with the public school system. So we had to be in resource classes and whatnot and to catch up, but still we were in the public school system. So eventually we caught up and were thrown into the mix. So we got socialized with regular kids, and we got to do all the things that everybody else did. Most of us, just from the same perspective, which is the way it's always been. And of course, we went back to the CP Center for our therapy until we were, I guess, 6th grade. And by then we were preteens or in our teens. And they didn't want us after that because we were no longer cute little kids. But that's another story. So fast forward to last week. So Joey and I were talking to one of our friends who is in the nursing program, and he went to Bynum School. And I always thought that was a public school. And he told us that it was a special needs school for any disabled person. And they could go from kindergarten all the way until they were 28. Okay. I have no problem with kids getting special education if they need it, because we don't all learn the same way. I don't learn the same way as Joey over here, and she doesn't learn the same way as, say, who? Anybody. Oh, just anybody. Our next door neighbor, yeah. So, that's cool. However, my beef with this is I thought they had done away with most of these special needs schools and just had resource classes maybe in the public school systems to help get the disabled or what have you up to speed. I guess what I'm trying to say is I thought that it seems like a form of segregation to me. And that's where I have the issue. I thought we abolished segregation. And apparently not. And it's not the lack of education that I'm concerned about, it's the socialization skills that I think would be lacking. Because with public school, you're thrown in there. Yeah, you might get bullied. I mean, Joey talked to you guys about being bullied. And I had my own issues with people messing with me about my hands or my eyes. I used to be really cross-eyed, and people would mess with me about that. But I'm glad my folks got me into the public school, and I'm glad I dealt with that stuff because it made me have to get that thick skin. It made me have to learn to talk to people and deal with them, because now I'm in my own house doing my own thing, and I'm out in the public and people know me, and my thing with Bynum is I read on their website that they do take people out in public, but to what extent do they let them talk to the public? It's a controlled situation, and so when it gets uncomfortable for them, and I'm not saying the students I'm actually saying it for the teachers. When the teachers start feeling like it's getting uncomfortable, then they can just reel in the kids, and that's it for them. And it just makes you wonder if they are getting the skills that they need, because eventually they'll be out there and they'll be really small fish in a huge pond. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I want to see our kind be out there and be help be president if that's where you want to go. But you've got to have the skills to be able to communicate with people and not have a caregiver or a parental unit or whatever be your security blanket. And so I would hope that they would push the kids to be independent and not always catch them when they fall. I don't know, it just seems like a step backwards to me from what my generation worked so hard to do. And to push kids with special needs into the populace and make them be what they could be. I don't know. Anyways, guys, tell me about your guys' situations. Tell me about the cities you live in and whether you guys had been mainstreamed or are mainstreamed if you're still in school. And tell us about your stories in the comments. And maybe give me some perspective on my thoughts, because I don't know everything. I just see and hear things and can only go from what I know. So throw out your ideas in the comments and don't be shy, please, because I want to learn. And subscribe to us and ring the bell so you get our next vlogs. And be good to each other, and we love you, and check you later.